Hello everyone, and thank you for joining into the Cyber Analyst Academy. For today, we are going to be creating a new Python application which allows us to do some web scraping, in this case to get contacts, emails from websites. So let's start by opening our favorite text editor. In this case, I'm going to use a very simple way to do it. I'm going to use Nano, which is my favorite one for these kind of scenarios. So in here, we are going to open the terminal and we are going to, well, in this case, to the desktop. Then in here, well, just clear a little bit. And then we are going to start Nano. So I'm typing sudo nano, and then the name of the document. In here, we can call it webcontacts.py. Okay, just enter the password since we are using sudo. And in here, we are going to start importing all the libraries that we need. Let's start with requests, which is the library to handle all the HTTP requests. And then from BeautifulSoup, which is the one that allows us to parse HTML content, we are going to use in BeautifulSoup. Now let's start also with the regular expressions. We are going to use them, so let's import RE. Also CSV, since we need to handle the CSV operations for the files that we are going to be using. Also date and time library to handle date and time. This is pretty straightforward. And well, we are going to use also some parsing from URL and also to perform some joinings. That's why we're using these couple of libraries in here. So now let's create a function to start scraping the emails from a given URL. Let's define these like, for example, scrape emails, which is the first function in our code. In here, we are going to use a parameter, which is the URL that we are going to send. And then let's start also this code with a try for the exceptions, which is similar in other languages to the try catch, something like that. So in here, what we are going to be doing in this section of the code is to define the headers to, let's say, simulate that we are accessing the website from any web browser, a legit one, for example, Firefox, Chrome, Safari, etc. So in here, we need to define the headers in the following way. We need to state for the user agent. In this case, we are going to use Mozilla 5.0. And then we can also get this information from, Googling it. We can search for user agents that we can use, and then probably the best approach could be to take this information with the most recent ones to simulate that we are using an updated browser. That I'm putting here, you can find it in the comments of this video. So in here, I'm gonna be putting also Chrome. The last instance of this section of code, we are going to use Chrome and Safari at the end. So as I said, you can type it or you can just search on Google this information, and you can just paste it in here. Now we need to handle the response. We can create this variable called response, and then from here we can say, okay, the requests that we are going to get from the URL that we are sending, and using these headers, we are going to put this response in this variable. Now response will use the raise for status method, which is implicit in this one. And now we are going to parse the HTML content using BeautifulSoup. So in here, we are going to create a variable called soup, and then we are going to use the function BeautifulSoup. And in here, we are going to send the response.text that we are retrieving from the response that we get. Then we are going to use the value html.parser. Now emails is another variable that we are going to set up in order to store the unique email addresses. We are going to use this equals set so that we can store all the emails in here. Now we are going to do for each. Let's say that we are going to extract all the emails from mail to links. So in here we are going to use soup.select, and then in here, as you can see, we can put the href and then the mail to, which is the field that we are going to look for in the HTML code. And then we can close this statement, and then we are going to remove the mail to part and strip any extra spaces. To do this, we are going to create this email variable. Then in here we are going to replace the mail to with an empty field, with an empty content, and then we are going to use the function .strip, and we are going to proceed to add the email to the set that we defined previously in emails. Now in here we're going to define text equals soup to get the text using this function. And what we are gonna do in here is to place emails.update, and in this function we are going to put the regular expressions .find all, and in here we're going to put some text related to the regular expression that we would like to use in order to retrieve the emails. I'm gonna be putting this into the comments as well, since it's a little bit complicated. However, you can use this one since this does the magic in order to retrieve those emails. Next, what we will do is to return the list of emails that we got or that we collected from the function. Following this, we will have the code for the exceptions that will handle and print any error message if any HTTP request exception occurs along the way. So what we are going to do in here is just to print. We need to put spaces on the indentation well in this code, and then print the error fetching for the URL that we are using, and as another input for this error message we will print the exception itself. And then in here we can just type the exception and then return an empty array. Alright. Now we are going to define the save emails function, which allows us to save all the emails that we collect in a CSV file. And here we are going to put as input parameters emails, website name, and then we are going to generate a timestamp for the file name. And here we can define, the format. In this case, year, month, day, hours, minutes, and seconds, which is the standard that we're going to follow in here. And then we can define the file name by using this timestamp and the website name. That is one of the parameters that we got in the input section. And the extension CSV. We're going to define the try exception, and in here we're going to open the file in write mode. We're going to use the UTF-8 encoding. And then what we're gonna do is to create a CSV writer object. And in here we're going to send a file which contains the file name and so on. And then we are going to create the header for this row, which is pretty much the email header. And we are going to proceed to write each email into the CSV file using a for each. So for email in emails writer, we'll proceed with the job to put the emails in here. We are going to print also a success message in here, and we are going to close the code with the exception, and it goes in the same way as we create the previous one to print any error message if an exception occurs while saving the file. Alright, that's great. Now let's focus on the main function. Let's define this as main, and in here we are going to start prompting the user to enter the URL of the website that we would like to scan. So in here we are going to define the URL variable, and we are going to use the input and indicate enter the URL of the website. Then make sure to use also the strip function. And also it's important to handle if the URL does not start with HTTP. So in here we are going to put the if condition, not URL starts with HTTP or HTTPS. And then what we're gonna do in here is to place a variable called URL, which it's gonna be equals to HTTP colon and then slash slash, and then we are going to concatenate the full URL with this variable. Now it's important to parse the URL to extract all the components from it. So we are going to use the URL parse, and then we are assigned the URL variable. Then we are going to do some format to the website name by removing the www dot and replacing it by removing the dot with an underscore. So in this case we're using the function replace, and we are going to specify www dot, and then we are going to use again the replace in order to remove the dot and put the underscore. Alright, now we are going to create this emails variable in which we are going to put the content for the scrape emails from the provided URL. And in here what we are gonna do is to use the function scrape emails and send the URL. In here we are going to put a condition in case the emails are found, so we are going to save them using the save emails to CSV function. We're going to include the emails and also the website name that we are using in here. And we are going to put the else condition in case that no emails are found, and then we are going to print a message if no emails are found. Very specific, no emails found, right? Alright, now we got pretty much all the code. We need to check if the script is being run directly, and then by doing this we can put this condition if underscore name underscore equals main, then run the main function, right? And with that we can have pretty much the code that we need in order to start testing our application in any website. So let's save the code, and now let's give permissions to execute this code. We are going to grant 777, and well, we need to put our password. Now we can open the browser and search for any website that we would like to get the contacts. In this case I have research that I did previously, and in this case we are going to use, it's just an example. And for this one, what I found interesting is that there is some information. If we go scroll down in the legal one for the cybersecurity, that caught my attention, and it's related to the contacts that they have for cybersecurity. So in here, and this is just a test because we would like to see if our tool works, we can see this email in here, and we are going to copy this URL, which is the one that we are going to be using for our test. And we go to the terminal again, we type Python and then the name of our application, click enter, and then in here we are going to paste the URL. Click enter, and in matter of seconds it will retrieve this file which contains the information from that website. So thank you so much for watching this video. Stay tuned for more and remember to subscribe our channel.